Hey, Podcast America. Welcome to episode 126 of the Enlightened Neanderthals, brought to you by Homes by Maya, all one word, spelled Mayya on Instagram. She is the sweetest and kindest realtor in all of Snohomish County. So if you're in the market, give her an internet cruise. And my own company, Training Northwest, which you can find at trainingnorthwestllc.com. I have the Warriors Garden Day in August, and then we are scheduling private lessons, range lessons, pistol lessons, but also the fun thing about private lessons is that we can combine a lot of things. Like if you want to do some range time with your carbine or your pistol, and then mix it with a little bit of warrior philosophy and the elements, earth, wind, air, and fire, we can do all of that on our place. So it's kind of fun because we're mixing and matching to kind of suit everybody's needs. And then today we have...
You should play Earth, Wind, and Fire as you teach.
Let's not do that.
No, it's a great band, dude. All right, continue. My bad.
But hang on. So now we are into episode 126, which is Dr. Professor's Manifesto.
Is this a TED Talk or is this a manifesto?
Oh, this was.
Is this a TED Talk? Do I get a microphone or a shack?
This is a mic talk.
This is
a mic. This is Mike in all of his suppressed intellect that he's been dying to share with all of you for all of these years.
No, I think I said it best, man. This is my love letter to the podcast. Like, I read all these things and I'm like, what is the point? And it's like, what is the point? I think this is my love letter to the podcast. Like, I figured it out.
I think this is the rough draft of Mike's unified theory of everything.
It might be. This is phase one, baby.
I think so. All right, guys, enjoy the episode. Blue Mountains, Blue Mountains, Blue Mountains. Okay, let's try this again. We fucked up. So we were probably a solid 10 minutes into starting this episode.
Gold,
we realized that we were not recording. So we're starting over again. Our boy, Dr. Professor, has brought his personal manifesto to share with Podcast America.
Yeah.
Mike, what prompted this?
You want to really know, actually?
Oh, fucking A, I do.
What prompted this was, it was a Friday evening, typical Friday, come home from work. There I am in my study.
Yep.
In my bathrobe
Crying and beating off. Yep.
Yeah. With
Got
a pipe.
I can see it. Yep. I can. You know what? I can even smell it.
God, it's aggressive, dude. Slow it down. Jesus Christ, be nice. But I was honestly just thinking about what pieces of shit the French were.
As we all do.
And I was thinking about it because of Vietnam. And I was thinking about Vietnam post-World War II. And during World War II, the Japanese took over Vietnam, and the Vietnamese were like, sweet, they look like us. They're going to be so nice to us. It didn't work that way. So Vietnam was a colony of France for a long time. Then the Japanese took them over, beat the shit, raped out of them, pillaged them, did everything you can imagine. And then the United States grants Vietnam independence.
I love sushi.
Yeah, well, don't we all? But United States grants Vietnam its own independence.
You know what's funny is the Japanese have been like fucking brutal even in the last 100 years, and everybody's like, yeah, they have such a great culture.
Yeah, after World War II, they change.
Yeah.
They cover their mouths when they laugh. They're polite now. You can't say, you can't say anything bad, dude. Yeah. Shut your mouth. But after World War II, United States granted Vietnam independence, right? So Vietnam's its own thing. Then what happens? The Red Scare post-World War II, right?
Yeah.
And they're talking about communism. And France goes, hey, you know what? We just get the shit kicked out of us in World War I and World War II. I'm going to go take over Vietnam.
Let's go on a foreign expedition.
Yeah. And the United States backed fucking France. They supplied them with military weaponry and intervention before we entered it physically. And Ho Chi Minh wrote letters to Roosevelt saying how awesome he thought he was and for granting the Japanese or the Vietnamese their independence. And we took a state that was completely like, oh, they're independent and they like us. And we go, hey, you know that guy that's fighting you? we're going to give them a bunch of knives and throwing stars.
Yeah.
And Vietnam hated us. And it was like, well, so what is that? The thing we said we're going to stop communism, we ended up actually spreading it more. We created a power vacuum then for where you could have
okay, I see what you're saying. You're
Cambodia, Laos.
Iran is the perfect example where in the 70s, Iran was like a fairly progressive culture, which we then, you have the CIA-backed coup, the Shah of Iran, which leads to the Ayatollah, which leads to the extreme right. What am I trying to say? Islamic State that it is now.
Yeah. It's completely changed from what.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
1953
if only a guy
CIA
we
overthrow of Iran is mentioned in this.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's, so for the people.
Intro.
Mike has an intro. My question was, does he have a thesis statement? I'm not sure I heard it the first time, but I'm going to listen again. Let's all
Can't wait.
Let's all hit cruising altitude together. Crack a beer.
Those are Tobin pounds out whiskey.
Yeah. I'm two-fisting over here.
All right. Intro. I'll read this a little quicker. I'll slow down the dramatic effect for you. We're living through something unprecedented in human history. Power vacuums. The collapse of one order and emergence of another have existed forever. But something fundamentally has changed. For most of history, these transitions happened slowly enough that societies could adapt. Rome took 300 years to fall. Medieval Europe took centuries to reorganize. That slowness was brutal, but it gave people time to understand what was happening and build new institutions. But speed has become the variable that changes everything. Information moves at light speed now. Financial markets crash in seconds. Governments fall in weeks. Afghanistan's government dissolved in days. Venezuela's president was captured militarily and extracted to New York within hours. COVID went from an unknown virus to a pandemic in weeks. The speed itself has become the actual crisis. And you see, the twist comes in this. I like that wording for some reason. America created the original ideological revolution in 1776, proving people could govern themselves without monarchy. The idea spread globally, toppling monarchies everywhere. For 170 years, America let the vacuum fill naturally. Different regions chose different systems. But after World War II, America flipped doctrine. America decided it had to control which ideologies fill the vacuum globally. Korea, Vietnam, Iran, Guatemala, Chile, Afghanistan. America intervened constantly. Each intervention accelerated the vacuum instead of controlling it. Each one bred resentment and created enemies America was fighting. Ho Chi Minh went from American ally to enemy. Mujahideen became Taliban. Intervention created the blowback America still manages today. But the crisis is still ahead of us. America's trying to control the vacuums moving faster than America can manage. Speed is destroying the system's capacity to respond. Democratic institutions take weeks to deliberate. Crises happen in days. The gap between crisis speed and response speed is growing exponentially. And mathematically, we're converging on a critical threshold around 2028 to 2040, where multiple exponential curves peak simultaneously. Technological singularity, climate tipping points, resource depletion, vacuum acceleration. That's the saturation point where the system physically can't function because speed exceeds human decision-making capacity.
Whew. Okay.
That's long-winded.
I had a lot of thoughts. One is that these power vacuums you're talking about, the post-World War II power vacuums, those were all done intentionally and violently. These were like regime change things. So they did happen really fast. Like,
they happened really fast.
Right. The invasion of Panama, taking out Manuel Noriega, that was like 3 days. Like the original Desert Storm was 3 weeks. Right.
The original Desert Storm was a joke, dude.
Round one.
Yeah, dude. Round two is like the sequel became really hard to beat that game, dude.
They fought back the second time.
Yeah. fuck? Yeah, they happen extremely quick.
But what I'm saying is that that's not something new.
I'm not, well, compared to when?
Compared to, like, imagine Genghis Khan coming in and, like, sacking your capital, and then guess what? You guys are part of the Mongol Empire now.
Yeah, you could, your region, local area, yeah, you still have local tribal things. But most of what we're dealing with.
One thing I was going to say is that, like, post World War II, it seems as though, or maybe it was more like, I don't actually know enough about European history to know when they went from, like, feudal fiefdoms to organized, like,
democracy.
kind of, say what?
Organized, like, democracies or
really,
republics.
They're not democracies. Not
republics.
Okay, I don't even know if
elected officials trying. Yeah. It changed.
So,
it's not a monarchy anymore.
I'm ignorant of my European history there, but I think some of those happened remarkably fast.
Yeah.
God, what was the other thought I was thinking of? Had to do with the power vacuums. I don't know. It'll come to me.
All right, so let's move in deeper. Let's, like, this power vacuum thing keeps getting thrown around, but let's identify it.
Thankfully, hey, what? So, okay, so that was your. What is the thesis statement? Like in one sentence or three sentences?
Power vacuums have existed naturally in order all throughout time.
Agreed.
The speed at which they are rapidly accelerating is exponential.
Like their currents, or like the speed with which, like, the vacuum like goes from full to empty.
Both. The vacuum not being able to shut down, creating more vacuums off of one vacuum.
Okay.
Chapter 1. What is?
And then I know. I was going to ask about the spread of Soviet communism was real. Like the Bolshevik revolution was real, and the communists really did kill, like, millions of their own people, and like Pol Pot was a bad person. You know what I mean?
Pol Pot
like,
was super bad.
Yeah,
so not a good guy.
It's not like the threat of communism was not real.
No, it is a real thing, but it's also that's a vacuum. Like, okay,
I also agree. Our sort of counter to that of regime change with puppets that we thought we could control to not be communist completely backfired.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Here we go, dude.
Thanks for the comments, asshole. Next chapter.
Yeah. Less notes next time. No. All right. What is a power vacuum?
I'm glad you asked.
Let me tell you. Power vacuums are universal. They exist everywhere. In nature, biology, history, economics, and governance. When established authorities collapse, a void opens. Competing forces move in to fill it.
Yeah, like when the old
Eventually, one emerges dominant and establishes new order.
The new alpha.
Power vacuums are a natural process all throughout nature and man that can be recounted all throughout history. Look at nature. A lion dies. Competing male lions fight for territory and pride dominance.
Here's a big thought. The reason the world is so fucked up right now is we actually live in a leadership vacuum.
Yeah.
Where the leadership positions are not being filled by actual alphas.
Yeah.
They're being filled by betas who have secured sort of like favor through material wealth.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to the alphas here. All right. A lion dies. Competing male lions fight for territory and pride dominance. One emerges stronger, establishes new hierarchy. The vacuum closes. A forest fire clears an ecosystem. Competing species race to colonize the burned space. One thrives, establishes dominance. It's
okay. You can
the vacuum fills.
Okay.
Sorry. I've had a Miller Lite, dude. Let me get it here. Okay. A vacuum fills. A predator population crashes. Prey species multiply unchecked until new predators move in to fill the niche. Ecological vacuum resolves through competition and natural selection all throughout life. Look at history. Constantinople falls in 1453. Ottoman Empire fills the Mediterranean power vacuum. Roman Empire collapses around 476 AD. Feudalism and Christianity fill the institutional void. right? French monarchy falls in 1789. Competing ideologies. And this is where the vacuum really speeds up. Capitalism, socialism, authoritarianism, Marxism, communism. Battle for dominance across Europe and this lasted across Europe for decades. Egyptian dynasties collapsed and reformed roughly every 150 to 300 years as competing factions fought for pharaonic control. Look at biology. A virus infects a population. Immune system and viruses compete for cellular control. One emerges dominant. A pathogen kills a host species. Competing pathogens fight for the niche of the body of that. One fills it. Cancer cells compete with healthy cells for body resources. One faction dominates and the order is restored when the vacuum is closed. And either one comes across alive or one comes across dead. The vacuum has been closed. Look at economics. A company collapses. Competing firms race to capture market shares. One emerges with dominant position. A currency crashes. Competing currencies and barter systems fill the void.
Strait is open again.
Yeah. One stabilized as a median exchange.
Iran is totally destroyed. Kaput.
Yeah. Kaput, dude. The pattern is identical across all systems. Collapse of authority, eruption of competition, emergence of domination, stabilization under new order. Sometimes it's fighting, sometimes it's violent, lions fighting, species competing, factions warring. Sometimes it's gradual, ecological succession, economic adaptation, ideological evolution. But the cycle repeats universally. Historically, these vacuums took time to resolve. Centuries for empires, decades for governments, years for organizations. But now that timeline is compressing exponentially. What took centuries now takes decades. What takes decades now takes years. What takes years now takes weeks. And that compression of time is changing everything about how power vacuums operate and how they affect.
Ooh, I like this.
That's chapter one, motherfucker.
That was a little bit. That was what I was asking for in the thesis statement, I think.
Well,
but you know what? You covered it, buddy. You covered
thanks, dude. All right, we got a thumbs up on chapter one.
So you're basically, in a nutshell, these vacuums happen everywhere across all systems universally,
and I think,
but the speed at which they're happening is accelerating now.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes,
and this falls directly in like you want to go down some deep rabbit holes here, or do you want to stay on your paper?
I'm gonna go on a rabbit hole for a second, then I'll read.
So the quote unquote the split where like 5D and 3D Earth separate from each other has like the world is getting more and more crazier as we approach like these prophetic sort of like resets of the yugas, and one theory or like one idea is that the reason the political and just sort of like the human chaos is accelerating, it seems like, to levels we've never seen before, is because the dimensional rendering, like the hologram, the simulation that we are in right now, our rising consciousness is becoming like almost to like a bandwidth that the simulation can no longer contain it. So we're sort of bumping up against the edges of the containment program. So it's sort of struggling, like it's throwing everything it's got into the system to keep people in their sort of chaos and fear.
Yeah. Well,
which is why we see so many more of these sort of vacuums across all of the different political and social systems right now.
Tobin?
Yes, sir. Did I just predict chapter 2?
You know what chapter 2 is titled?
Let's no.
Why does our current power vacuum feel different?
Oh, shit. Let's go.
All right. I'm taking your hand, dude. This is prom, and I'm taking you down.
We clearly were born to dance together.
All right. Let me get a little fuel here. All right. Chapter 2. Why does our current vacuum feel different?
I'm glad you asked.
Thanks, dude. Let me tell you. If power vacuums are natural and cyclical processes, Rome took 300 years to collapse. The Ottoman Empire spanned 4 centuries. Medieval transition took centuries. Why does this one stand out? I think part of it is because you're living through it, making it feel more pressing than historical vacuums you only read about. Every generation experiences their era as the most chaotic, but also because measurable speed of change is objectively faster than the eras before it. Treaties took decades to negotiate, and now it shifts in months. Territories.
It shifts in moments with a fucking tweet.
Yeah. Territories that took years to control now change in weeks. Economic systems that took generations to build destabilize in days.
Or crash after a fucking tweet.
Yeah. Post-COVID supply chain collapse in 2020 only took 18 months. Afghanistan collapsed in 2021 in 2 weeks. Acceleration is real. It's not just perception. Everything compounds and folds heavier and heavier, creating confusion because you don't see clear enemies, just diffuse resistance and problems everywhere. Like a late Vietnam, where instead of soldiers marching into the bush, you have drone cells walking independently. I had to keep going with my Vietnam talk, sorry. The speed creates chaos without clarity. You feel destabilized because you are destabilized. The vacuum's moving faster than human cognition can track. Information moves at millisecond speed globally. A tweet reaches millions in minutes. A crisis emerges and contradictory narratives flood simultaneously through social media before anyone can verify. People experience different realities depending on which information source they consume. Nobody agrees on what's actually happening because speed prevents shared understanding of form. That's why this vacuum feels uniquely disorienting. It's not just that it's moving faster. It's that speed itself prevents the mechanisms that normally help societies understand and respond to crises. Sorry, turn the page. We're watching a system destabilize in real time on our phones, but we can't coordinate collective response because we can't even agree on a shared reality.
Oh, hang on. That's a big statement.
Well, let me just finish this up. That's why the vacuum feels different from any in history. It's not just your perception. It's measurable, proven, mathematical. It is able to be calculated that our speed of reality is speeding up.
Yeah. That's a really profound statement about the fact that we can watch it crumble in real time on our handheld device, but yet we maybe feel more powerless than ever before to do anything about it.
We're less organized.
Yeah. Good job, Dr. Professor. Was that the end of chapter 2?
That was the end of chapter 2.
Okay.
Once you keep going, I mean, you don't have to remark on it.
The other thing I thought of that was interesting is that you talked about the speed of which these events are coming keeps people sort of destabilized and in their chaos.
Because
maybe that is you know how like sometimes the illness begets the treatment. Mm-hmm. Like as people are finding themselves more and more in chaos, like and with a higher and higher frequency, maybe that's why so many more people are sort of awakening right now, is because you're sort of forced to find your center.
Just everything feels off. Yeah, it's such a big...
Like, it's so overwhelming, and there's so, like, nothing that you can do, it feels like, that a lot of people are losing faith in the old system. Like, nobody trusts the old institutions anymore. There's, like... My dad, or not even my dad's not alive, but like people my parents' age maybe still watch Fox News or CNN and believe that version of reality exists. But for the most part, everybody younger than 70 understands that this is the Wild West.
There's a lot of
we don't know
smoke
what
and
the fuck
mirrors,
is going on. Everything is false. We're being lied to on all fronts from every institution we were ever told that we could trust. And what is becoming more and more important amidst all that noise is to learn how to center yourself. And so that's kind of like, that's what Christy and I have really been working hard at, and what we're trying to like bring to a public service. And like you've taken a glimpse behind the veil now a couple times. So yeah, I don't know, that I was like, oh shit, it's really important that we are helping people find their center of gravity.
What you're saying resonates, because I think as we keep going through this, what you're going to see is that, like a car crash, speed is one of the biggest factors. And I think this is kind of my love letter to this podcast, because this is me.
It's get hot.
Calm down. Yeah. This is only 2/3 of the podcast. There's another one.
Does Jordan get a special night?
Yeah, dude. Y'all get a good sucking, dude.
That's right. Jordan, you have to write a 10-page paper.
Fuck, dude. Didn't make it past the thesis. We love you, buddy.
Right. That's right.
But I think this is kind of like, this is me trying to understand everything we talk about. And of course, I had to figure this out in my own narrative. But I think this hits on like all these emotions and feelings that like we're putting into the ether, but it's hard to construct why we feel this. In just that same way, you say people feel off. It's like, yeah, they feel even more off than ever. And I think because now more than ever, speed is the biggest factor through which everything happens, right? The speed at which you get a message, the speed at which you get money, the speed at which we're talking about societies crumble due to tweets. Speed is going to become the thing that drives the vacuum to the point of chaos.
Yeah, where it's almost like the vacuum is emptying so fast that nothing can refill it, and it can never restabilize.
Nothing can grab hold and become the new order. Huh. It keeps getting sucked because the vacuum's a fucking succubus.
Oh my God. Okay, what's the next chapter?
All right. Chapter 3. The power vacuum America created and inherited.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's a good little title. Shut up, dude.
Thanks.
All right. In 1776, America sparked an ideological revolution demonstrating people could govern themselves without monarchy.
So, I got to say this again. Didn't the Greeks and the Romans do this?
Yes, but listen and see the differences from us doing it compared to them.
Okay.
This idea spread globally. French Revolution inspired, 1789. Latin America independence movements inspired, 1810s to 1820s. European nationalism, 1848. Kings and queens slowly devolved across the entire world. Throughout centuries, monarchies were what ruled the day. But post-colonialism, kings and queens became an endangered species. I like that. Sorry. Oh During this,
should we pause and see if we can get Morgan Freeman to read the rest of this paper?
Yeah, it'd be better. It'd probably get actually like looked
then
at.
people would listen to it.
Yeah. All right. For roughly 170 years post 1776, America remained largely isolationist. During the French Revolution, Napoleonic Wars, Latin American independence, European nationalism, America didn't intervene to control which ideologies filled those vacuums. America was ideological inspiration, not enforcer.
As it should be.
Nations filled their own power vacuums naturally and adapted organically.
Yes. Yeah. To the needs of their people and their geography.
But post-World War II, around 1945, doctrine flipped entirely. Fearing communist spread through domino theory, America intervened constantly.
Korea, 1950, preventing communist unification. Vietnam, 1960s, fought communist North. Iran, 1953, CIA coup overthrew Mujahideen. Guatemala, 1954, CIA determined their own, 1954 back coup. Chile, 1973, CIA supported Pinochet's Niet's coup. Over and over, America
Forgot Iraq. Saddam Hussein was our guy.
There's so many to list.
So
That's
many
why
more.
yeah. But for time, America didn't let regions determine their own vacuums. Instead of being a beacon of self-governance, America became an enforcer, controlling which ideologies could fill power vacuums globally. And in doing so, America tried to control the vacuum. But in controlling it, America accelerated it. It sped up the clock, destabilized regions faster than they could adapt. Every toppled government bred resentment. Every intervention created new enemies. Every attempt to control outcomes created cascading vacuums America could no longer manage.
You know what that's interesting is that post-World War II, the United States and NATO and the UN are the great destabilizer of the world.
To provide stability, we're going to shake it up.
I was just going to say, to provide safety at home, we will keep everybody else in a state of shaken.
Wait till we get to the Napoleonic character in this, dude.
All right. Yeah. This is named Dr. Professor.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Let's go.
Oh, shit, dude. Ho Chi Minh was an ally during World War II. Wrote letters to Roosevelt asking for independence. America could have backed Vietnam's self-determination. Instead, in the 1960s, America armed France because France wanted its colonial reign back on Vietnam. That choice.
Well, that turned out well.
That choice turned a potential ally into an enemy. Then America fought Vietnam directly for 9 years. Despite massive bombing campaigns and 500,000 troops, communism spread anyways. Vietnam fell in 1975. Laos fell the same year. Cambodia fell to the Khmer Rouge, and the very outcome Khmer Rouge. Oh.
In English, it's Khmer Rouge.
Khmer Rouge.
I don't know how to say it in Cambodian. And I'm not sure what the fuck.
That's how they say it.
I'm not sure how cursive says it, but
yeah. The very outcome America tried to prevent through 9 years of intervention happened anyways. Afghanistan, 1979 to 1989. America funded and armed the Mujahideen to bleed the Soviets. Strategy worked militarily. Soviets withdrew defeated. But those Mujahideen...
And we went in there, and they were like, we'll just bleed you dry. And we were like, Oh, wait a minute.
But those Mujahideen fighters became the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda, the very group America fought for 20 years starting in 2001. So America's 1980s intervention directly created the enemy America fought in the 2000s. Korea, 1950 to 1953. America fought to prevent communism north from unifying the peninsula. War killed 3 million people, ended in a stalemate. Korea remains divided 70 years later. The vacuum was never closed. Instead of letting Korea naturally resolve its own futures, America created a perpetual instability on the peninsula. So America does what it does best. It creates more vacuums.
Yeah, a divided Korea. You're welcome, Korea. We got you.
We got Epstein, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We got this island. Mike's Disneyland, right?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck.
Who likes It's a Small World?
Oh, it's a big world. I've been told. They're all over 18, too. So that was, okay. So that's the power vacuum America created and inherited. This thing that started with us, this idea of representation for individuals.
If you think about it, the colony kind of was a power vacuum because the crown was across seas in an era
it was
when
France,
information
it was
did
Spain,
not travel,
and it was the
right?
British fighting. Yeah. One of them
came victorious. And it was unique because they had a unifying philosophy. The Americas are the thing that stand out. Like, we were a beacon, right? And what we did there by saying, I want independent representation. All you fucking monarchies are nuts.
Right, but what I'm saying is the colonies were an interesting experiment or experience in that there was a power vacuum. And because the aristocrat class did not want to live in the colonies because it was rough living for the most part, then there was no way to curry, there wasn't a lot of material wealth, so you couldn't curry favor through material means, which means real leadership rose to power.
Yeah, when you got fucking Indians knocking at your door and the winter's coming,
we're
you got to be a bad motherfucker.
We're being run by beta personalities who are in favor or are in power because they have more material wealth. When the reality is, we could rip their fucking throats out with our bare hands if we wanted to.
But I have to think, just that moment of 1776, our original 13 colonies, that is unique. And it's unique because it's us, and it could have been either one. It could have been Spain says, oh, we revolt and they established dominance. France, the French and Indian Wars, it was a vacuum, right? Yep. It just so happened that the British said no more to their king. They stopped paying taxes and they fought a war. And somehow those motherfuckers won that war. It doesn't make sense.
Probably because information could not travel as fast as men on their feet.
But in doing so, I don't think they said, I want to topple the world. They just said, I'm done what happens in Europe.
We're not paying taxes.
We are us. And the consequence of that is every king and queen, every monarchy fell post that date. There has never been a new king, a new queen. Everything has fallen from 1776. We changed.
We should stop paying taxes again, Mike.
We changed. I'm about ready to change the game, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But we changed the game. America becoming independent ended monarchy throughout the world. And I've never really thought about it because then what happens after monarchy? After that, you get into these fractions of republics of how they should be ruled and the competition of idea.
Party
yes.
Governance.
And so now here comes the next vacuum, the idea, the thought. I say it all the time, but it's like people have fought about this for years. How do I want to be governed? How do I want to be ruled? And people started developing different philosophies.
That question right there is the trap. How do I want to be ruled? I do not.
I do not want to be ruled, but how do I want my society to work around me? What are laws and ethos and ethics that I like? That's where you get the start of communism, capitalism. I mean, capitalism already existed. From my brilliant pod
the
on...
moment merchants existed, the moment hookers existed, capitalism existed.
But...
I got some shit you want.
But I think... what we did there, So you had Marxism, you had communism, you had Bolshevism. Once we dethroned the kings and queens, then it was like, okay, here's the power vacuum of idea, right? Here's how we think governance should be created. And that was the new power vacuum. America changed the entire world. We created this and we inherited this.
I fell in a pothole there for a second. I might have missed those last 30 seconds.
We all fall in a pothole now and then.
Read that again.
America created and inherited this power vacuum. Us becoming colonials, saying fuck you to the king.
You're saying post-World War II?
Nope. 1776.
I see what you're saying. So we led the rise of nation states that now currently sort of make
our nation states, and we try and control the new nation states.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
We created and we inherited this power vacuum. This is a full cycle.
Went from revolution to reconstruction, post-Civil War, about the same time Europe was doing the same thing. You have 1913, the Federal Reserve, the creation of the UN or NATO post World War I. World War II, the lines are finally redrawn. We figured out who gets to be an economic power, who does not, who has to stay poor. Sorry, Poland. And you know what I mean? Like,
hey, you'll do fine in the Soviet Union. Don't worry.
Yeah. And here we are with our fucking broken system falling apart.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we created and we inherited all of this. If you build it, they will come. Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Actually, can I take a quick pee break? Yeah. And then we'll get right back on.
Yes, you can. And we're back. Okay.
We're
next chapter, Dr. Professor.
Trying to see where I left off. Chapter 4. How did America lose control of the vacuum? The question we all want to know. Get ready.
We thought we knew how to fill it. Little did we know.
I'll fill it. All right.
It's not what I heard.
This is not the traditional format. You have like a thesis and a paper read to you.
I know.
But it makes me happy.
I can tell.
Yeah. All right.
I'm trying hard to my brain works linearly. So I'm trying to connect. These dots are jumping and I'm trying to connect.
All right. How did America lose control of the vacuum? Post World War II, America intervened constantly, trying to prevent communist spread. But each intervention accelerated the vacuum faster than America could manage.
Was that the only reason, or was that the excuse we used to create economic conditions that favored us?
It's part of the vacuum, and it just all fits in. We're just recognizing things we see. Korea, 1950 to 1953. After World War II ended, Korea was divided on the 38th parallel. Soviet zone north, America zone south. America wanted to prevent communist north from unifying the peninsula, so America fought directly, committing troops and resources. The war lasted 3 years, killed roughly 3 million people, destabilized the entire region, and ended in a stalemate. Korea stayed divided. America didn't prevent communism. It just froze the conflict and created permanent tensions. The vacuum never closed. Instead of letting Korea naturally resolve its own political future, America's intervention created perpetual instability on the peninsula, and it continues today, 70 years later. Example 2, Vietnam, 1964 to 73. America escalated directly after the Gulf of Tonkin incident to prevent Ho Chi Minh's communist North from taking South Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh had allied with America against Japan in World War II and even wrote to President Roosevelt requesting American support for Vietnam independence.
He was our guy.
America could have supported
Saddam Hussein should have paid attention.
But instead it armed France to fight Ho Chi Minh, a Western ally. That choice turned Ho Chi Minh from potential enemy or ally into enemy. Then America fought directly for 9 years. The intervention destabilized Laos, Cambodia simultaneously, creating multiple vacuums instead of just one vacuum. Despite massive bombing campaigns and troop commitment, communists spread anyways. Vietnam fell to communism in 1975. Laos fell the exact same year. Cambodia fell later.
Straits open.
Yeah. USA. The very outcome America tried to prevent through 9 years of intervention happened anyways.
You know, it's funny. Team America was telling us this
So
20 years ago, and none of us actually caught on.
Wait,
we're like, yeah, that part where they're like having sex was funny.
All we're doing here is wait till we get to the math.
Yeah.
The math is what hurts and scares me. Let's see. Massive bombing campaigns coming. Laos fell the same year. The very outcome America tried to prevent, roughly 9 years of intervention, happened anyway. And notice the diffusion. Korea was contained to one peninsula. Vietnam's intervention spread chaos across Indochina. 3 countries destabilized instead of one. America's attempt to control the vacuum accelerated and expanded it simultaneously. Right? Yeah. We're working on trending here. Yeah. Example 3.
Afghanistan, 1979 to 89. Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan to prop up communist government. America saw this expansion of Soviet influence, so America intervened. Funded and armed by the Mujahideen resistance fighters through the CIA, America poured billions into Afghanistan to bleed the Soviets, to create a quagmire for them. This strategy worked militarily. Soviets withdrew in 1989. Defeated. But the blowback comes in this. The Mujahideen fighters America armed and trained became the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. The very group America fought later in the War on Terror for 20 years, starting in 2001.
Not Al-Qaeda. Taliban, yes. Al-Qaeda came out of Saudi Arabia.
But wasn't it due to... But what I thought...
Al-Qaeda was more born of, again, American meddling all over the Middle East and mostly in the interest of oil.
But I thought
that's a whole other dark history.
I thought Al-Qaeda was special funding through that because of that family... Bin Laden family. It was supposed to be like an offset of that. I thought it was like a special forces of Taliban.
No. Taliban was very specifically the government of Afghanistan.
Okay, so then we'll just go Taliban on that. I got a soldier here to correct me. Yeah. 10 out, dude. All right. Soviets withdrew in 1989, defeated. Mujahideen fighters, armed trainment, Taliban. Okay. Those Taliban were the very group America fought later on the War of Terror for 20 years, starting in 2001. So America's interventions...
1993.
What?
Oh, you didn't know that the Battle of Mogadishu was the first round of the...
All right. Well, in most... no, I'm not an army boy.
Yeah.
So America's intervention in the 1980s topped Soviet expansion directly, creating the enemy America fought in the 2000s. And notice the speed of acceleration. Korea stalemate took 3 years. Vietnam took 9 years. Afghanistan intervention took 10 years, then created 20 years of conflict after it. The vacuum didn't close. It transformed. America won tactically against the Soviets, but created blowback that lasted decades. America created more vacuums through intervention instead of resolving them. Each intervention was faster at destabilizing regions, but slower at achieving objectives. This pattern is clear. Intervention accelerates the vacuum instead of controlling it. America could no longer contain what it had created.
I don't know that we were ever able to contain them. So that's another good point that you make, is that we're really good at making these vacuums.
Yeah.
They always
really good.
But it's sort of like, do you know what like a thermobaric munition is? Where
that bomb.
It burns so fast that it like sucks all the air out of the atmosphere, so then everything implodes.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our interventions, where we go, we burn everything, suck all the air out of everything, and then we have no fucking clue what comes next. And so everything just sort of implodes, and it's like, oh, fuck, whoops, our bad. We forgot about this part.
Well, once again, it goes to that acceleration too. Like what accelerates and destabilizing is that like when things are moving so fast, it's very destabilizing, and like it's hard to, like we said earlier, get a grasp of what any form of reality is. So that bomb that you said where it just sucks everything in, that's it. Everything's so accelerated in being drawn in. Yeah. It doesn't have a second to take a look around and see what really is.
Yeah.
Or what can be as a natural process.
Yeah. And another kind of interesting like rabbit hole point right there is that back to where we were talking about people being more chaotic and off-centered and needing to find their center of gravity, is that in that implosion, if you are not really fucking stable in who you are and what you're doing, like prepare to get flattened.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So once again, it's like we can't control anything in the external environment. We can control our internal environment. And so right now, maybe more than ever, it's really important for people to get to understand their own center so that when that implosion comes, it doesn't fucking knock them head over heels.
Yeah. You're not just ostrich in the sand with your head in there, exactly. You know? Like,
la, 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 la.
All right. So we're getting there, dude.
Yes,
we're halfway.
What chapter are we on?
We are on chapter 5.
How many pages is this manifesto?
10 pages.
10 pages.
We are 5 pages through.
You guys, does everybody else listening at home write 10-page papers to come talk to their friends about on a Tuesday evening?
Only cool guys do, dude. That's my vacuum.
Listen, if I had more friends who would write papers to come discuss on a microphone, I'd be a happy man. Thank you, Mike Kozak.
Yeah, welcome. You're welcome, America. All right, let's move on to chapter 5. Chapter 5. Speed kills. I love my titles, dude. I really honestly, I'm like, yeah, it's a good
Steve
one.
McQueen would agree.
All right. Speed kills. Speed is the rate at which change occurs across domains. Historically, change happens generationally, 70 to 80 year cycles. Now change happens in months or weeks.
Moments with a tweet.
Yeah. And send. Send.
Oops.
Oops. Yeah.
Stock market crashed.
Straits are open. Now change happens in months or weeks.
Closing the strait.
Yeah, Owen. Speed manifests across every domain simultaneously. Information speed. Tweets reach millions in minutes.
Speed manifest. Hang on. This is a statement. Speed. Read that again. Speed manifests across dimensions or domains?
Domains simultaneously. Okay. Chapter 5. Speed kills. Let's start. Yeah. There's a lot.
That in itself bears some discussion.
There's a lot of S's in this. I feel like Cindy Brady trying to read it. Like I got braces.
All right, read it one more time.
Speed is. All right. Here we go. Speed is the rate at which change occurs across domains. Historically,
Okay.
we're not getting past
It's the rate of which change occurs, or it's like the refresh. Hang on.
Changing occurs.
Okay.
Yeah, because those are different frames. Think physics. One frame,
no,
another
that's
frame.
exactly
That's
what I'm
speed.
thinking of. Okay, frame rate almost.
Yeah. So speed is the rate at which change occurs across domains. Historically, change happens generationally, 70 to 80 year cycles. Now change happens in months or weeks. Speed.
What kind of change are we talking about?
Speed manifests across every domain simultaneously. Information speed. Tweets reach millions in minutes.
Everything is speed because everything is vibration.
Here we go.
Okay.
Tweets reach for millions in minutes. Misinformation embeds before fact checkings can respond. Financial speed. Markets crash thousands of points in seconds. Company lose billions overnight. Technological speed. AI capabilities. I like ripping those pages out. AI speeds double every 18 months. Weapon systems obsolete in years instead of decades.
Not thunder and lightning over here.
Not that left and right.
Bro, my jujitsu's been good lately.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what you keep doing. It keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's fun.
If it gets worse, you should quit. Dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But I had not rolled since Thanksgiving when I had all these nerve injuries.
Oh, yeah.
And my right side is still like pretty weak from those nerve injuries. So I was just surprised. I thought I was going to go in there and get fucking smashed into the mat.
Sometimes taking time off, like you come back and your game's sharper. It's like cramming for a test and you're like all frazzled, but then you sleep overnight and it all
I think
settles.
also having like the muscular weakness is forcing me to be way more aware of positioning and centers of gravity and like
get off me.
yeah, exactly. My technique is having to get really good because I don't have the strength like I used to have.
Welcome to Hurt Guy Jiu-Jitsu. Professor Kozak.
Graybeard Jiu-Jitsu. Listen, half your body doesn't work. Get used to it.
Yeah, that's 100% it. But you just got a coaster, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We went. That was a pothole.
What were we talking about?
Physical combat.
Oh, speed.
That's what I said.
Speed. Okay. Biological speed. COVID went from unknown to pandemic in weeks. Military speeds. Drone strikes happening in real time. Conflicts executed in days instead of years. Political speed. Governments fall in weeks. Afghanistan stand dissolved in days. Social speed. Movements go local to global in hours through social
Only
media.
if they have Soros funding.
Yeah, well, that helps her big time. When everything speeds up simultaneously across all domains, the power vacuum accelerates beyond human capacity to manage. Humans no longer open in one domain while others stabilize. Now political institutions lose legitimacy at the same time financial systems destabilize. Technological disruptions accelerate. Biological crises emerge. Military tensions spike. Social fragment happens. Each domain's vacuum amplifies the other recursively. Financial...
Well, define that word.
What? Recursively?
Yeah.
Like it happens over and over?
Repetitively. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Financial collapse breeds social unrest, destabilizes government, creates military vacuums, trigger information wars, accelerate biological spread, collapse supply chain, circle backs to economic crisis. You get a cascading systematic failure when one domain failing triggers others exponentially. Speed eliminates redundancy. Effective systems remove slack. Just-in-time supply chains, lean staffing, minimal inventory. It works in a stable world. In crisis, lack of redundancy means one failure breaks everything. Airlines canceled one day, cascade into weeks of disruption. Speed fragments consensus. When change happens slowly, people agree on reality. When it happens fast, people experience different realities simultaneously.
Well, speed.
Social media amplifies competing narratives. Nobody agrees on what's happening anymore because reality is changing faster than shared understanding can form. So speed kills consensus, redundancy, and institutional capacity all at once. That's our current power vacuum. And mathematically, our theory maps with Moore's law acceleration, technological singularity prediction, climate tipping points, all converting around 2030 to 2045. That's the saturation point where multiple exponential curves peak simultaneously, and human decision-making capacity can no longer manage the pace.
I disagree. I think that you're correct in that speed is collapsing the system. Like the United States of America Incorporated is a bureaucracy that cannot keep up with the speed through its own, it's going to kill itself basically through its own incompetence. Therein lies the answer also to defeat, like the control system is that your human beings are quantum computers. We can transmit information at the speed of instantaneous, not the speed of light. So, fucking potholes, dude. Like
You should type a paper.
We might have cruised too high, Mike.
We're hitting the stratosphere.
Yeah, that's right.
We're heating up.
Come on back, guys.
Pull it down, baby. Fly closer to Earth, Icarus.
Yep. Speed. The speed.
Speed is a thing.
Speed is a weapon. And here's the thing: is that I think that actually AI is trying to mimic the human mind. Like in the end, like if you could fast forward like a couple hundred years into the future, you would see that the race for AI is truly a race for a machine that can then build, like the AI machine is then going to be used to build
a slave.
Yeah, the quantum computer.
The first white slave.
And there's like this funny cartoon I wish I could draw, because I would draw a cartoon of like when they're like, we did it, we finally created the quantum computing machine, and they lift the thing and it's just a person. They'd be like, motherfucker, we spent hundreds of years developing AI so that it could build us this quantum computer, and it turns out it's this biological system that we call human beings.
It's a tool. And
so what I think is that the key to defeat of the control system is in speed, because the control system moves at the speed of bureaucracy right now. And at some point, it's going to shift to where it moves at the speed of tech oligarchy, as like you'll end up with like the Palantir control system slowly takes over nation states, and we all live under the incorporation of Palantir and Flock AI.
Did you just read two chapters
did
ahead?
I just predict the next couple chapters? Continue, Dr. Professor.
We're good.
With the lecture. You can also submit for your PhD at drprofessor.org.
Yeah. We take PayPal.
That's right, yeah.
What else do we
It's
take?
$11.95.
11, dude. Yeah. Put another 1 in front of that or a 0 behind it, dude. Oh, yeah. All right. Chapter 6. Speed in the power vacuum. How speed affects the power vacuum and America's role in it. Historically, when a leader fell or was removed, neighboring regions or powers had time to respond and fill the void. The process took months or years. Competing factions mobilized gradually. Negotiations happened. New orders emerged. The vacuum had a closure timeline. But modern speed collapses that timeline. Look at Venezuela. On January 3rd, America executed a direct military capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores in Caracas. Traditionally, removing a leader takes time. Negotiation, internal pressures, gradual collapse. But America moved at unprecedented speeds. Military strikes, capture, extraction to Manhattan, all within hours. The speed bypassed all normal diplomatic processes, international law, regional negotiations.
There's another good point, is that you can be sending like your envoy of J.D. Vance and Jared Kushner to go negotiate with Iran, but then dipshit gets on his fucking phone and is like, straits closed.
It's speed.
Yeah,
Speed
like,
kills.
Oh fuck, call him. Bring everybody home. We just upended that one.
Diesel's how much? Yeah, speed kills, dude. Maduro got extracted to Manhattan all within hours. The speed bypasses all normal That's
a few dead soldiers on the table here, Mike.
Speed bypasses all normal diplomatic processes, international law, regional negotiations. America didn't wait for Colombia, Brazil's, or other neighbors to organize response. America moved unilaterally and decisively. Now the consequence. Venezuela technically has no government. I mean, kind of filled in, but it's not really. Things aren't good.
I don't know what's going on there.
90% poverty level in Venezuela. Not good.
That already existed before the invasion.
Yeah, but it's got, it's like we say we control it. So now it's like,
when there's 90%
you guys sell gas.
Level, nobody's in charge.
Yeah, and it's like you guys sell gas, but now we control the gas and what comes in and out.
There's 3 guys selling oil who are rich as fuck, and everybody else is.
It's like it's like the Strait. No one fucking knows.
Strait's open.
Yeah. Venezuela's
closed.
Open. Yeah. I think
green light.
I think they
red
did,
light.
They did land
green light.
An airplane in Venezuela, and it was like for 17 years.
Green light.
Yeah. They're like, look what we did. And it's like, all right, one jet in 17 years. All right.
Green light, red light.
That's all it is.
Dude.
That speed. Yeah. America didn't wait for Colombia, Brazil, or other neighbors moved. Okay. Now the consequence. Venezuela has no government. Maduro's removed, but there's no replacement mechanism ready. No design successor. We have a president that's sworn in, but no one really knows if that is the president. No international agreement on what comes next. America claims it will run the country temporarily. Russian and China's influence evaporates overnight. Which once was a country of buying
Cuba.
Yeah. Which once was a country of buying gross petroleums has now became attention. Russia and China's influence evaporated overnight, now creating another vacuum between America, Venezuela, and China and Russia. The cascading effects are immediate. Oil markets destabilize. Venezuela production collapses and global energy prices spike, affecting economies worldwide. Regional neighbors panic about America's next move, fearing driven policy decisions across multiple nations simultaneously. Speed in the power vacuum doesn't accelerate resolution. It prevents it. America's intervention speed exceeded the normal vacuum filling mechanisms. Nobody can coordinate responses because everything happens too fast. The vacuum opened and nobody knows how to close it because speed prevented the normal processes. The speed affecting America's ability to manage consequences of its own actions. And its proxy conflicts. America, China, Russia, all competing for Venezuelan dominance simultaneously at the speed of light. Nobody wins because speed prevents consolidation. The vacuum stays open indefinitely because competing actors move too fast to coordinate or negotiate. Nothing can grab hold and an anchor can never set in.
Speed.
Chapter 7?
I don't know. Yeah, I fell in a few potholes there.
There's a lot of potholes.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Chapter 7. We'll keep going. America, a democratic republic, but what we really need is a Napoleon. No, we need a Napoleon.
Run under maritime law, under which you are birthed as a citizen.
Dude, boat
into
law?
servitude.
Boat law?
Go ahead, Dr. Professor.
Boat law. 7, America, a democratic republic, but what we really need is a Napoleon. In a power vacuum filled with chaos, populations become desperate for order, any order. When institutions fail to respond fast enough to crises, when suffering becomes acute.
Well, therein is the answer to when people are like, how does Hitler come to power? In a vacuum where chaos is so supreme that any order sounds like relief.
Better than disorder.
And that's Agenda 2030 as well. Is that to create, which also, as you look around the world right now, as chaos is increasing in like everything, Agenda 2030 is behind it. Like the climate change narratives, the COVID, the two political parties that are one, like, you know what I mean? The entire control system, it's all being run by this sort of Agenda 2030 group. And their own slogan is "From chaos comes order."
Yeah,
which is the rebirth. We're the phoenix, unfortunately.
Exactly. They're telling you they intend to break the system with chaos so that they can institute their new world order of technocratic control.
But to go with my power vacuum
but
theory,
also as they break the old order is our opportunity to create our
we
own.
are the ones trying to fill that vacuum.
As what everybody needs to realize as you become more aware of who you are and your own freedom, like inherent freedom, like what was it John Locke that said all men are born free, or I'm getting the quote wrong, but everybody is inherently free and sovereign. And in this collapse of the old system that is coming is the opportunity to build the new, like we don't have to give in to the new system as it's laid out for us. We have a say in what comes next.
Yeah. Yeah, we're happening in that vacuum. That is the weird thing, is realizing
and I'm going to decorate my driveway with the heads of my enemies. Just going to throw that out there.
I'm trying to think who I don't like.
I got a list.
You got a list for me?
I got a list. Oh no, I get their heads. They're going my driveway.
I'm trying to think who's pissed me off. I'm pretty mellow. Maybe I'll take. There's a butcher that gave me a bad cut of meat with way too much fat. He's gone, dude.
He's gone. Go find that motherfucker.
Viva la resistance!
Do you remember the end of the Jay and Silent Bob movie when they've got like all the internet comments of everybody? Like,
oh yeah, they go to kick their ass. Yeah. You sold me a bad ribeye, you dick. Viva la resistance.
Did you write Jay and Silent Bob are fucking clown shoes? Fuck them and their stupid ass.
Dude, when they're at that cow burger place and he's responding, it's like, fuck you.
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
It's such a good movie. Rabbit hole. Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. We're getting there, dude. We only got a couple more. Chapter 7. Democratic Republic, but what we really need is Napoleon. In a power vacuum filled with chaos, populations become desperate for order, any order. When institutions fail to respond fast enough to crises, when suffering becomes acute, when uncertain...
I am the commander of the clit.
The clit commander, dude. Okay. All right, I'm just going to keep out.
Federal Marshal Will and Holly.
Dude, it's Will Ferrell. He's got that monkey.
Yeah. Sorry,
It's a good movie.
Okay, back. This is Mike's life work.
Yeah, dude. This is
My
me.
mistake.
Remember the clit commander?
That's right.
It's like, yeah, it's my life. Fuck. That's me. All right. When institutions fail to respond fast enough to crisis, when suffering becomes acute, when uncertainty dominates daily life, people stop caring about democratic processes and start demanding someone just fix it. That's when a strong man emerges.
Safety.
Yeah. That's when a strong man emerges. A Napoleonic figure. Someone who promises swift, decisive action, clear solutions, restored order. And crucially, that strong man offers order through concentrated power. He can move fast because it doesn't need consensus. He doesn't debate. He decides. He doesn't ask permission. He acts.
Sovereign.
And people willingly accept the loss of freedoms and liberties because the alternative feels like drowning in chaos. But here's the catch-22. America's democracy is precisely what hinders us from responding fast enough to the vacuums. America's founders designated checks and balances intentionally to slow government down. Separate branches, congressional debate, judicial review, constitutional protections. That slowness prevents tyranny, but it also prevents speed. And speed is now the survival variable. China can decide policy in weeks. Russia can mobilize in days. America debates for months whether crises escalate daily. America debates for months while crises escalate daily. So we're trapped in the middle. Democracy prevents the decisive speed required, but abandoning democracy for a strong man means losing the freedoms and protection democracy was designed to preserve. So we're stuck. Preserve democracy and lose to the fastest competitor, or abandon democracy to match the speed and become the very tyrant we feared. Either way, we lose. And to look at Americans' authoritarianism drift chronologically, 1798, Alien Seditions Act suspends free speech during French War tensions. Citizens accept it because they fear invasion. 1861, Lincoln suspends habeas corpus during the Civil War. Arrests dissidents without trial. Citizens accept it because the nation is fracturing.
Fear.
1917, Espionage Act criminalizes anti-war speech during World War I. Citizens accept it because they fear German infiltration.
Fear.
1942, Japanese internment removes 120,000 citizens without trial based on ethnicity.
Fear.
Citizens largely accept it because Pearl Harbor created fear. 1950s McCarthyism normalized surveillance and persecution of political opponents. Citizens accept it because they fear communist takeover.
Fear.
1970s, Colonial Pro reveals government illegally surveys and disrupts movement. By then, it's normalized. Citizen acts as necessary. 2001,
Fear.
Patriot Act. 9/11, 9/11 massively expands surveillance and detentions power. Citizens accept it because they fear terrorism. Never dismantled. 2008, the financial crisis emergency power given to Treasury and Fed $1 trillion decisions without congressional approval. Citizens accept it because the economy is collapsing. 2020, COVID emergency declaration lets
fear,
governors
Batman.
make sweeping restrictions without legislative input. Citizens accept it because pandemic is terrifying. 2026, Venezuela military operation conducted without formal war declaration or Congress approval. Citizens accept it because foreign aid instability feels threatening.
Why do you pay your taxes? Because of
Fear.
fear.
Okay. So what do we get from that? We get a pattern. Each authoritarian measure is justified as a temporary response to crisis. Each one becomes permanent. Intervals compress. 1861 to 1917 was 56 years between major suspension of rights.
But that's a really important period right there, because that was when the United States became an incorporation with I think the Act of 1871, and citizens became almost like property. That is maritime law, and why you have a birth certificate the way a ship is birthed when it is set out of the dry dock into sea. But that's where it changed. That is where the republic changed from a true republic into an incorporation, at which point we all became assets, and we became treated like literally every citizen became an asset of the United States, incorporated.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Or value.
Or
cattle.
I don't know. That just jumped in, and then I lost it.
Oh, you're good.
More cattle. That's when we were turned into cattle from sovereign entities.
Yeah.
You are no longer a sovereign entity. You are a citizen of the incorporation.
Put a stamp on you. Brand you,
That's
baby.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Birth certificate.
Intervals compress. 1861 to 1817 was 56 years between major suspensions of rights. 1917 to 1942 was
Central banking.
Was 25 years. 1942 to 1950s was roughly a decade. 2001 to 2008 was 7 years. 2008 to 2020 was 12 years. 2020 to 2008 was 6 years. Intervals of these mass suspensions are shrinking. The time between each one is shrinking. Economic powers come faster. Each one normalizes the next, which anticipates for speed for the next. Citizens accept them because crises feel worse than surrendering freedoms.
Fear.
By the time America realizes they've lost democracy, it's through thousands of small surrenders made during pandemic. Hang on, I jumped a sentence.
During fear.
Small surrenders made during
Fear.
That's how speed kills democracy, not through invasion, but through incremental,
Overwhelming fear.
capitulation to authoritarianism, disguised as crisis management. People choose a strong man willingly because speed
Because
makes
they're afraid,
democracy.
and he makes them feel safe.
Yeah. But that gives them what they feel is a voice. Speed makes democracy in this moment.
I don't feel like we have democracy. We have a lot of speed of information. I don't think we have
It's
democracy
false
at all.
democracy, though. You feel like everything's chaos. Like they said, World War I, the fear of German takeover. And it's like, oh, give me a strong man. Oh, he's sticking up for me. He's representing me. That fear through speed and saying, oh, I'll just take over. Oh, I feel I'm being represented. It is speed that is which people feel is democracy now, because the strong man is the one that can act the fastest, right? And so in a time when speed is hindering us in democracy and democratic processes, the man that can act fastest seems the most democratic because he's looking out for our best interests. But it's just speed.
I feel like, I see what you're saying. People want instant results. That's what it is. As Americans are seduced by They want results now. They don't understand process.
It's a process that takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
Trying to figure out this dumb process.
Amazon's like, we could have it there by 2 a.m. And it's like, fuck, dude, you could, like, by Thursday's fine.
All right. How about one more pee break, and I can probably get through
Yes,
this?
yeah.
All right.
Okay, we're back from pee break. What chapter are we on?
We're on chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Just got a couple more to go. We're almost there.
Couple more.
Chapter 8. The saturation point. Mathematically proof of vacuum acceleration in convergent signals. The vacuum acceleration model independently predicts critical systematic disruption around the year 2028 to 2040.
Okay, hang on. Back up. Read that one more time. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get this. You're going to have a lot of dates coming this.
Okay, read that part again.
The saturation point. Mathematical proof of vacuum acceleration in convergent signals.
Okay.
Vacuum acceleration model independently predicts critical systematic distribution or disruption around 2028.
Whose prediction is this? Is this yours?
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I did the math, baby. You ready for some math?
Oh, I see. This is the thesis statement of this chapter. And
This
we're gonna
is
get
just
into
what happens once you hit the saturation point of a vacuum model.
implosion.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Predicts critical systematic disruption around 2028 to 2040 based purely on historical compression of power vacuum cycles. There's no consultation with other researchers. This vacuum...
Clearly.
Yeah. Shut up, dude. This vacuum... this vacuum maps the time scale from ancient Rome through Afghanistan. Plotted the exponential compression, extra. What word was that? That's a misspelling.
Cursive.
Yeah, that's some cursive. All right, so vacuum disruption 28
This is a
of
major hiccup in the
No. All right, so. Historical power vacuum cycle constant. Ancient era, 3000 BC to 500 AD. Average 200 to 300 year cycles. Medieval period, 500 to 1500 AD. Average 100 to 200 year cycles. Renaissance.
That's how often like the feudal lords were overthrowing each other?
Yes.
Okay.
This is, yes. Renaissance to pre-industrial, Renaissance to pre-industrial, 1500 to 1770, averaged 50 to 150 year cycle. Industrial era, 1770 to 1940. Average 30 to 50 year cycles. Post-World War II era.
Hang on. What if both parties are one party? Then it's a 270.
They're not one party, though. These are all factions becoming and rising and falling.
Okay.
So this is like rise and falls of different monarchies, of empires, Ottoman, Islam, Christian.
Okay.
So through all of these. So let me start this again. Ancient era, 3000 BC to 500.
Go ahead.
All right. 200 to 300 years. Medieval period, 500 to 1500. Average cycle period, 100 to 200 years. Renaissance to pre-industrial, 50 to 150 year cycles. Industrial era, 1717 to 1914. Averaged 30 to 50 year cycles. Post-World War II era, 1918 to 1945, average 15 to 30 year cycles. Post-World War II era, 1945 to 1990, average 10 to 20 year cycles. Modern era, 1990 to 2026, averages 1 to 5 years for major destabilization. If this exponential curve continues, by 2030, cycles hit weeks to days. By 2035, cycles hit days to hours.
From chaos comes order. Agenda 2030.
By 2040, cycles hit emergence. You can't govern when new crises erupt every 12 hours. You can't coordinate response between crises that arrive faster than you can implement solution. The system breaks. But here's what's extraordinary. When we cross-reference this model we made, right, and these time cycles on compression, and we model them against completely separate analytical frameworks, we arrive at the same window. Climate scientists modeling tipping points predict critical reversibilities by 2030 to 2040. Permafrost melts. Ocean circulation collapse.
Haven't they been predicting this shit for like 50 years and every day? It's like a
they predict it,
date.
but this
So
is
like
it's
always 3 years from now.
No, the end date's always been that 2020 to 2050 cycle.
Also,
window.
like in years, like millennia past, the Earth was a paradise.
Oh yeah,
And we are emerging from an ice age. So yes, the Earth is warming up. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
no, not at all.
When the average climate reaches like 70 degrees, then the Earth flourishes with vegetation and life
But-
everywhere.
In doing so, you're speeding up society.
I
That
disagree.
speed,
I think
no,
if we go
because
backwards
people are
to
going to
the
get
quote-unquote,
displaced.
like the golden times of the, like we were talking about the past, or the cycles of the yugas. In the golden ages of past yugas, it said that the world is tropical,
yeah,
not cold.
that's fine.
We are,
But we've been cold.
Yeah.
And when you have a bunch of
a
cold
good
that
thing.
then goes hot, what happens? You have millions of people on coastal lines that then get displaced. If you do have,
they?
yeah, if
Where do-
you
where
have
do they go?
rising waters or you have changing topography, you're going to have distortion
I
of
don't-
population.
yeah, but I don't think they're going to displace in like a year. It's not like the ice caps are just
No,
going to like.
but it's-
this whole climate change agenda where it's like the polar caps are going to be gone in 3 years. Like, shut the fuck up. No, I have ice in my fucking sink, or in fact, I have ground beef that I've been trying to thaw for like 12 hours. The fucking polar ice cap is not going to disappear in a couple weeks.
Yes, but say as over time, as we start to hit a threshold where heating continually starts to, like it builds and builds and builds, all of this is compounding. You have shorelines that start changing. So say over 20 years, you need to move, how many people
Also,
live
you
on
may
the
have
shore?
new land masses
Yes.
expose themselves under the ice. It'd be interesting to see what we find.
You might have that, but you're going to have mass change.
Yes.
You're going to have people
That is
moving.
life.
And people
Life is
moving
change.
creates chaos.
Yeah.
More speed of changing. When everyone used to just live here, now all of a sudden the system has to adapt. As a coastal line is where most,
How many years do you envision the ice caps melting over?
maybe 50, maybe 100. Like it depends
Do you have evidence for that?
at which the speed continues on.
do you have evidence?
The evidence is, the climate is warming. Do I say it's man-made or I don't know. I live here. I see there's been tons of cold times before, and there's been tons of hot periods before. So it's like it has to change and flux. And if we're in such a delicate time now, is all of this stuff we're stating, you add global climate change pressures onto the map of failing government and political systems, changing horizons. This only adds to a tipping point. And this is just
What I'm seeing is the way to break the system is to like not try to fight the chaos, but lean into it. I'm glad
You
wrote
gotta
this.
let-
I'm glad
yeah.
I'm glad you wrote. This is like the Pirates Manifesto here, Mike.
you got to let the vacuum close. Natural order
maybe
is
I
the
don't.
true way.
Maybe I don't.
That's America. They tried to keep it open or
Maybe,
intervene
maybe,
the vacuum.
maybe Captain Jack Sparrow here will lean into the vacuum,
Salve.
expand that bubble.
Salve.
Salve, salve, love.
Dude, you can be drunk 24/7. You're pretty cool if you're Jack Sparrow.
Yo,
All right. All right.
I choked on my bourbon.
Where were we? So these cycles of vacuums keep getting smaller and smaller. What used to be a cycle from 3,000 to 500.
You mean the time
80
duration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Between
So
cycles.
the vacuum itself gets bigger,
Smaller?
maybe? What about the bubble? The bubble of nothing. Is it getting smaller? Like the time?
No, time is the biggest factor. Imagine a normal vacuum and it's supposed to be normal processes, but the only thing changed in the frame is time is faster. Time is exponentially
So really
faster.
it's just running through its full cycle at a
Quicker
faster rate
and quicker.
and reaching its terminus.
Yes. Or it's because it's going so fast, it's having a problem shutting down. And so it's staying open, creating more chaos. And
Runaway
chaos.
train.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we see these cycles. They're starting to get closer and closer and shrink in time. Modern era, 1990 to 2026. Average 1 to 5 years for major destabilization cycles. If this exponential curve continues, by 2030, cycles will hit weeks to days. By 2035, cycles will hit days to hours. By 2040, cycles will be from hours to minutes. That's saturation. When human decision-making can't keep pace with crisis emergencies. You can't govern when new crises erupt every 12 hours. You can't coordinate responses between crises that arrive faster than you can implement solution. The system breaks. But here's what's extraordinary. Cross-referencing this with this same model, when we compare it to climate tipping points that are irreversible by 2030 to 2040. Permafrost melts or ocean circulation collapse, Amazon dieback, all triggering at simultaneous events. Hard deadline for cascading environmental futures. AI research predicts technological singularity by 2024, but with a cascading effect starting in 2030. Resource depletion models say peak extraction and scarcity of resources through human mining hit at a critical point on 2030 to 2050. Fresh water, phosphorus, rare earth elements hitting scarcity simultaneously. Economic systems compress from resource stress. Geopolitical analysts predict multipolar conflict intensifications in the 2030s and 2020s. As American homogeny declines, China, Russia, and other rising simultaneously to compete for us. Generational theorists predict major societal crises and restructuring in 2020 and 2040. Generational turnover combined with institutional strain. Peter Churchill's cytoclinamics measures historical instability.
Spell it.
CLIODNYAMICS. Yeah, I know, right?
Right,
who
luck.
named him?
Good luck.
Predicts peak social instability in 2020 and 2030 based on current trajectories. Economic cycle analysts predict a major downturn 2030s following a 2008 crisis pattern of collapsing money. Each framework is independent. None consulted the others, yet they all converge on the same time frame. That convergence is a signal, not one prediction, not one theory guessing. Multiple independent methodologies measuring completely different systems, all pointing to the same critical threshold. It's not coincidence, it's structural. It means multiple exponential curves are simultaneously reaching their mathematical limits at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying about the rendering of the simulation is reaching its limits. It can no longer
everything,
contain.
all these models, climate, population,
They're all
destabilization, all these, and just this model I created. It shows that due to chaos compounding and going quicker and quicker, the chaos model of when events happen and compress it faster and faster, It unfolds in that same time dynamic. These are all systems and signals pointing to a date of 2028 to 2050. Something is bigger here, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, all these
Fucking
models converge in one unique time. So why it matters. When
Hang on.
multiple...
Did you consult your abacus or your magic 8-ball, or like how did you model these? Did you put them into? Did you
Use an
learn
AI, use an AI to model time frames and look at
Dr.
societies,
Professor's been
look at
interacting
each
with
collapse.
Claudebot.
Yeah. But it's like it maps it out elegantly and shows you the time frame from when start to fall, diminish, how long it took to absolve, how long it took to, and it's like all these time frames are linear and they go from such a huge expanse at the beginning to
Almost
narrower.
like a painting, you know, where like lines converge on the horizon.
It's a narrowing point. And what that's
we're converging on the horizon of
the event horizon is
the
happening.
event horizon of the solar flash
Yeah, dude.
prediction.
This fucked me up, dude. This fucked me up doing this.
All right, good.
When multiple independent systems reach critical failure simultaneously, you can't manage them in isolation. Climate failure requires resource allocation. Resource scarcity drives conflict. Conflict destabilizes government. Unstable governments can't respond to pandemic. Pandemic triggers economic collapse. Economic collapse prevents technological solutions. It cascades. Each crisis amplifies the others because they're all hitting at once. A human institution physically cannot manage simultaneous existential crises across all domains. That's saturation. That's discontinuity. The convergence of independent signals predicts the same window doesn't mean catastrophe is guaranteed. It means the probability of systematic disruption becomes overwhelmingly high because the mathematics align. We're not heading towards one crisis. We're heading toward a moment where everything breaks simultaneously because the timeline lines up that way.
God.
Multiple exponential curves all reaching saturation in the same narrow window. That saturation point is 2028 to 2040. That's when the system can no longer exist.
Goodbye, motherfuckers.
Peace.
Yeah.
Step 9.
Chapter 9. How many chapters are there?
One more after this, 10.
You want to go get high?
Okay.
All right, we're back.
One more to go, and then the conclusion.
This is chapter 8 or 9?
This is 9.
Okay.
Step 9. Chapter 9.
Chapter 9.
What happens after saturation? So I had to keep diving in my little mental masturbation of what I thought would be...
Saturation of what?
Saturation of vacuum theory, where like you hit that oversaturation point where you reach 2028.
Like the ultimate vacuum, or the saturation point where the vacuum has collapsed and we're down to ultimate density?
Yes, you're down old. Yeah, and that's where this correlates with all those, with Kurzweil, with singularity, with technological unification.
What if I said they both exist at once? Expansion,
Yeah, all of
and
these.
compression.
Yeah.
All exist.
Oh, everything
all at the
exists
same time.
all at once, but we're just seeing there's signs and signals that a bunch of models are predicted to happen at the same time. And a bunch of these models and predictions aren't like, oh, everyone gets a puppy on a Sunday. It's like, oh, this is bad shit kind of stuff. And it's world changing. I mean, just the idea of singularity. How much has AI disrupted us now talking about
you're
what's
talking
real?
Technological singularity. I'm talking about like God
No,
singularity.
talk technological singularity. They say by...
That's not a real singularity. That's just where people put Neuralink in their head and they can't have their own thoughts anymore.
Yeah, but you don't think that speeds up, puts speed in the vacuum?
No. The real
That's
singularity
way more speed.
is the thing from which all creation comes.
Well, yeah, but that's like
Big
saying
Bang,
the second coming
the singularity
or God
before
or
the
Jesus.
Big Bang, God before he created. You know what I mean? It's like,
But that's like saying the second coming or God or Jesus. The
Right,
singularity in most of this stuff is everything we're driven towards, which is tech, right? Doesn't get me wrong.
what if we're not driven toward tech?
We personally...
What if some of us are holding the line at driven toward smoking pot by the river?
Yes, but you smoking pot by the river it has a minimal effect compared to the compounding effect of everything around you.
It has a fucking amazing effect on me.
Yeah, but that's why, you got to be the master of your own domain, but the world is operating at this speed. And the speed at which the world operates.
That's its problem.
Yeah.
Because
but that's,
at the speed of Pot by the River, life is pretty fucking fantastic.
By the river, dude.
I'm not joking.
Dude, I think that was an Einsteinian fucking model. From Pot by the river.
From my frame of reference.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking great.
It's great to all our references. But unfortunately, the people... And no, I mean, that's actually a good distinction and unique distinction to talk about, because it's like I like to lament over this shit, but I am no one that has control or power or seeks power or control of others.
Not true. You have insane amounts of power inside your own experience.
My circle, right. But to say I need to speak for others is very outside my wheelhouse. Okay. And most of what makes the world run are saying I need to speak for others. When you look at big shakers and players. Yes.
Yeah. Let me take your power from you.
All of us, the guys smoking pot down by the river, we have the fallout of those guys speaking for us. And so we've smoked so much pot by the river for so long that we've let these people speak so long and not be us speaking.
Actually, I think the opposite is true. That we have allowed them to tell us what to do for so long that we became lost in it. And now that we're getting back to smoking pot by the river, we're starting to realize, hey, fuck you.
Do you think we bought into that?
What to do.
Do you think we bought into that strongman narrative? Whereas, like, as the word, like, life is like, I
can't answer for before I was born, but all I can tell you is that I was born into a system that taught me to, like, it rewarded me for memorizing what it wanted me to memorize, and it rewarded me for behaving in certain ways, like standing in line, waiting for the bell, like getting my tray of food, be a good factory worker, be a good cubicle worker. And so I learned to be that.
Yeah.
And what I think we should have been doing was, like, imagine an alternate system where kids are playing in a meadow. Right?
Stimulate. You're just looking to stimulate.
Sure. Okay, sure. We got to teach them a little bit of math here and there for like an hour a day. It doesn't need to be a lot, because how much, you know what I mean?
Most of the math you use is just adding and subtracting, let's be honest.
Yeah, but the reality is that people who are interested in the higher level science,
they'll seek it out.
Exactly. Or the higher level mathematics, they will seek it out. They will self-educate because they're fucking interested in it. The Elon Musks of the world will still exist without mandatory public education, because they will seek out these things in which they are interested. Yeah. And the rest of us will too. And that is why we don't need these old, antiquated power systems, is because it is, again, I realize it's utopic, but it's also possible that people can live by their own morality, and they will be driven by their own interests. And that creates a better reality and a better world. And in a lot of ways, like, I'm living it inside my own little bubble.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still get frustrated as fuck some days. Like this morning, I was just fucking frustrated and angry. I don't know why. But the reality is, I've been living great fucking days for the last however long, because I only do what I want to, and I only do what fulfills me. Those are my two rules. Want to or fulfilling. If it doesn't check one of those boxes, nope, not participating.
Yeah.
And so that is... And I don't know how it's going to play out, because the system's going to come. They're going to want to fucking come after me, because I'm not participating in their bullshit. But I won't ever again. They're like, even up to and including my own death. Like, if we have to go there, we'll go there. But I don't fear that. And I don't know. I'm just not going to play the fucking game anymore.
Well, I find it interesting too, because it's like, you're like, no, maybe the pot's making us realize. But I think it's like, no, maybe we've been smoking too much pot down by the river. Why did we let someone tell us how everyone's kids should be raised instead of figuring it out for our own?
I wasn't smoking pot down by the river until like fucking 4 years ago.
Well, I'm an
OG. My life, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Listen, I stopped smoking pot after high school. Apparently it was a big mistake. I should have just kept being, that's the reality. I should have kept being the hippie kid who liked to hang out in the woods around a fire and smoke a joint. But I went institutional, And then I fell into the institutional trap for 25 fucking years.
Yeah, but doesn't
And
that,
now that I'm back out, there's no fucking chance you will ever put me back in that cage.
Nah, you had to be in that institutional trap, because I don't get Tobin today without that institutional trap.
You do not.
I need a mix of chaos and then finding light. That is that balance. That's what we're talking about in these vacuums. You had a vacuum of life where it's like you got out of something and you started sucking in all these different areas. But what the nice part is you found something. Like I said, in America, 1776, it was unique.
Podcast, America 7.
Yeah, because America was unique, because it was a power vacuum in the Americas when Spain went there. And it was France, and it was Spain, and it was the British. But one group came out like so united with one cause and one goal that they fucking changed the entire world.
Not liberty.
Yes, freedom. And the ability to dictate and choose. So it makes me think, why did we give up that ability to dictate and choose how our children are raised, how we think our education should be? Why did we step out of it? Was it part of that convenience, but also the strong? Oh, I know what's best for your kids. I went to this school. Oh, take my kids. Teach them what you want, but you left yourself out of the process.
Well, it's also like, it's telling. So I know I mentioned this, I think, on the episode with Dave and Christy, that I grew up right on the Colville Indian Reservation, and they had it. I'm pretty sure it's still operational today. It was definitely operational in the 1990s. It was called the Pascal Sherman Indian School, and these, like, if you go back in American history, these are schools where natives were taken off their land. They were like sent to the school. It's a boarding school. So they're not living with their parents and their uncles and their grandparents and their cousins, or maybe I guess their cousins, the other kids.
Yeah.
Right? But they're not allowed to speak their native language. They're not allowed to practice native, like their religious or their spiritual practices. Yeah.
You need to modernize. Quit being a savage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as recently as when I was in high school, Native American kids were being sent to these schools so that they could be sort of like assimilated into whatever this system is. And then you look at like my kids go to the public school, and I look at what it is, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's a fuck show of preparing these kids for life as a factory worker or a cubicle worker. Period.
Yeah.
And even like, I have a lot of family members in the medical profession. And so I look at now understanding what I know about human behavior, I look at them and it's like, oh, you guys were the best at memorizing in high school. And so you got patted on the back. And then you went to medical school where you were the best at memorizing. Yeah. And so you got patted on the back and told that you're the smartest person in the room. And now you live in a society where we believe that you are the smartest person we know because you're really good at memorizing something that somebody else told you. Yeah. That's what a doctor is. They're the best person at memorizing something that somebody else told them.
Well,
and so they're like, okay, for condition A, we prescribe B. For condition, but they don't do independent research. There's no practicing doctors, like family practice doctors, that are doing independent research and trying to figure shit out. They're just working off of their memorized information.
Well, we're getting super off topic, but I love this. We are. I think that
this is called a pothole, Mike.
I think part of it is we've lost like the emphasis on creativity. Like, creativity is the most important.
We traded it for cheap shit from China.
But like you're saying, that memorize this and memorize that.
China.
But what the most unique thing, what does everyone want? They want a patent on an invention because it's the first and it's unique and no one else ever thought about it. And to build something new that no one ever thought about, you have to be. But that's what but you have to be creative to come up with it.
But
if you're not,
think Training Northwest is my creation.
Yeah, that's your patent.
But there's no patent on it.
Yeah, there is. There's your business. People can come up with the same business model, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Yeah. But the creativity comes with you going through those shitty experiences being part of the system and then breaking out and then figuring what's good for a real life war shooter, but also a citizen. What you're doing is you're tailoring and you're being creative.
Yes.
What your program is your own unique thing. Yes. The ability to be creative is something that's not emphasized. It used to be like, his head's in the clouds. Mike's distracted. Yeah. Well, what you said
should get a
earlier,
good job at Ford Motor Company.
I try. But what you said earlier about like, if you're drawn to math, you'll go to math. Dude, I like World War II. I haven't been in a lot of
smoked sausage.
I haven't been in a lot of World War II classes. Yeah. Everything is because it's a knowledge, it's a curiosity. Yeah. And the stifling of the curiosity is what changed. I would even
say the government school stifles curiosity because you're not allowed to explore. You're just told this is your subjects.
Yeah.
You will do social studies at this time. You will do math. You will do Spanish 1. You will you get a few electives, but by and far, you are not really in charge of your own education.
No, you're learning how a system works. But just like these systems we're talking about a vacuum is meant to open and then close. The system works perfectly when it does that. It's a complete closed loop, right? It does it, another one happens, it does it, it closes. It opens, it closes, right? So these things that are perfect in nature get distorted when we fuck with them. Like we're keeping these things hindered, like by stifling creativity, a natural process. What you're doing is you're not allowing the vacuum to be like expand and think and open, and then let's take all that collapse into a form. Yeah. Dude, my vacuum model.
And this we're talking about the vacuum as the expansion of possibility before the collapse into actuality.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, everyone's competing for the new reality.
Do we have a conclusion?
Oh, no, we're close. All right, here, let's wrap. We're getting there. Chapter 9. What happens after saturation? The potential outcomes. Once the system reaches saturation around 2028 to 2040, the traditional governance mechanism breaks down. Multiple possible futures emerge depending on which variable shifts first and how populations respond.
Sorry, I'd fucking drifted. I didn't listen to any of that.
All right. Once saturation happens and we reach this precipice of vacuum theory and like they're sucking in and creating new and like you can't establish any order or address
Chaos
one crisis because another one's popping up. So once we hit this saturation period in time, when we hit this event horizon. I don't view this as
maximum vacuum. I view this as maximum chaos.
Yeah.
And I feel like the vacuum is created by so the vacuum is created
just
by
left
the chaos.
Open. Yeah.
Okay.
And the speed speeds up the chaos.
I'm tracking.
Yeah, baby. All right. Outcome 1, authoritarian consolidations. Populations
Palantir. Flock.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so, but it helps me understand why we're where we are. Okay, so populations desperate for order accept strongmen leadership globally.
Independent Republic of Grenville.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Bad dog.
Multiple authoritarian regimes emerge competing for regional dominance.
Independent Republic of Grenville.
Democracy collapses not through invasion but through voluntary surrender. Authoritarians move decisively but make catastrophic errors without democratic oversight. Mistakes cascade. Conflict escalates. You get a multipolar authoritarian competition instead of a multipolar democratic cooperation.
You're assuming the only outcome is authoritarian?
Yes.
Why?
Because when in times of need, what do? We listed off every time America's in trouble and the citizens surrender to the strong man, the Napoleon, the person that pulls them through to give you order and chaos.
What about small governance run by like a council of elders?
Whoa, hang on, dude. There's multiple outcomes here. We're hitting there. We're getting there. All right. High likelihood given speed advantage authoritarian offers during crisis leads to competition of multipolar regime change. Just means fighting, just factions. Outcome 2, factions. Fragmentation into microstates. Central government loses capacity to govern. Nations fragment in autonomous regions. City states or tribal structures become the new order. No global coordination possible. Right? So we're cut off from everyone else. Each region attempts local solutions. Some succeed temporarily through distributed governance. Others fail into chaos and more violence. No unified response to any crisis that emerges. Outcomes vary wildly by region. High instability, but potential for innovation and more governance to come at a local scale to create stability. Okay. So first is pure chaos.
You forgot one.
Second's chaos, but like there's no, you can't communicate throughout the whole nation. So it's independent factions kind of working. You might get a good one. You might get a bad one, but it's just decentralized kind of everywhere. Outcome 3, technological solutions emerge faster than predicted. If AI can develop or accelerate problem solving for climate, energy especially, resource challenges, and faster than saturation occurs, we might have a chance. Technology buys time for institutional adaptation, but creates new risks. AI systems become uncontrollable. Technological unemployment accelerating, digital warfare escalating, partial mitigation of crisis, but new crises emerge from this solution. It may offer us temporary things, but our vacuums are not being fully fulfilled. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Outcome 4.
Okay.
Mass population die off. I mean, that seems, yeah. In civil
hate to say it.
Yeah. Climate collapse, pandemic, resource wars, famine, combined with reduced global population.
Straits closed.
Yeah. Straits are now closed.
Red light, green light.
Survivors reorganize into lower complex societies. Pre-industrial government emerges naturally because industrialized civilizations can't sustain. Mass human suffering, but eventually stabilization at smaller population levels. Is civilization essentially resets. Outcome 5. I find this highly unlikely, but global coordinated response. Facing extinction and destabilization, nations temporarily unite despite ideological differences. Implement massive coordination actions on climate, resource, pandemic, prevention, conflict prevention, and corruption of government. Requires unprecedented international cooperation and willingness to sacrifice national autonomy. Unlikely given current in our trajectory, but theoretically possible if the crisis becomes undeniable enough. Would require fundamental shift in human cooperation capability. Doesn't seem likely. Most likely scenario.
Oh, here we go.
This is what I think. Combines elements of multiple outcomes. Some regions consolidate authoritarianism. Others fragment into microstates. Technology provides partial solutions.
You know what's interesting is that imagine if the entire United States fractured into like really small level. Like, I joke about like the Independent Republic of Granite Falls, right? That's 5,000 people. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more if we made it including rural areas. But imagine the number of little, 5 to let's say 30,000 people sort of bubbles that would form, and how how widely fucking different they would be from like down in Bothell where everybody's from India to down in Alabama where it would be all like Southern Baptist Christendom to New York and New England, Boston area where it would be super progressive sort of, you know what I mean?
Different bubbles.
The bubbles that would form just in the United States alone would be fucking wild.
It would be the ultimate, like, the new prairie land. You could see, like, in their natural element, they rebound. But that's kind of a vacuum. And what I think is interesting about these vacuums is, like I said earlier in the beginning, it's like you look at when these empires fell, it would take 200 to 300 years. And that was a natural order. Humans were still under that natural doctrine. I think you can see a direct correlation as technology develops. That vacuum gets more and more intense. Technology is one of the speeds at which that vacuum increases. You can have, I'm going to intervene and try and enact what I find best in the scenario, and that speeds up the vacuum. But I think that is the major correlation of what speeds up the vacuum is not just that intervention, but what you said earlier of pothole.
Oh shit! I was in one too. Oh no,
we're both in one. Dude,
I don't know.
You know how hard it is talking about this? You know how long it took to write this dumb shit down,
I assume you tapped this out on your smartphone on your way to work this morning.
It's about 5 minutes, dude.
Yeah. Is this your life's manifesto?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. All right. How long ago did you start this document in Microsoft Word? Tell me the origination date.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe 2 weeks I've been working on it. But it's
I was hoping you were going to say like 18 years.
No. This is all stuff I like read and think about, but it kind of happened to just come to a head through just random thinking, like, let's make a model. What is a power vacuum? How does it work? And I went down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that this podcast, like not this episode necessarily, this podcast is getting weirder and weirder.
Hell yeah,
I'm entertained.
Brother. Hell yeah, brother. Fuck you.
I am highly entertained.
All right. Most likely.
Sorry if the rest of America is not.
I think people love it. All right. All 12. Most likely scenario combines elements of multiple outcomes. Some regions consolidate authoritarianism, others fragment into microstates. Technology provides partial solutions.
Have you ever read Wrath of the Wendigo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Okay.
Population pressures increase through a combination of famine and disease. Limited coordination emerges as resource competition rather than cooperation. You get multipolar chaos.
Did you write this or did Claude?
No, I wrote probably 90% of this.
Who else wrote it?
No, I mean, the nice thing about AI is you can make like structural bulletins that you can like, all right, so what is my thesis?
AI did you use?
Claude. I've used ChatGPT and it was fun, but Claude does a much better job. But here's the problem. You're a dad. You're raising a fucking toddler.
I know.
Like it wants to throw random stuff and you're like, I don't think that's right. And then like, I checked back and you know what? You're wrong.
My bad.
Yeah. But it's not, it's like, so I'm trying not to like put my bias in, but it's like I'm trying to get good input and data and draw parallels and stuff. So you can use it to like, okay, give me a comparison.
Do research.
Yeah.
Do research for you to support your argument.
Yeah.
Do you think that it is giving you biased research in support of your arguments?
That's why it's about like, you have to challenge it. So what's the counter to this? What could dissolve this and stuff?
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's what any research is. You're going to get a book from anyone saying this country's the best or this country's the bad. It is your job to take in the information and form your own analysis for
Canada.
objective.
Oh, sorry.
Ticonderoga pencils are pretty nice, and they come straight out of the heart of the maple leaf, dude.
We want number 2 pencils. We must maintain. Open the straight.
Canada.
Open the straight. Straight's open. Straight's closed.
All right, let's finish this up. Let's put a bow on this. Let's hit the conclusion. Oh, jeez. Professor.
Prost.
Prost, dude. All right, conclusion. And this is where I think it is interesting, too. I think the time frame for when this is supposed to peak is interesting because it hits with so many models and scales that hit like an end game in that date. So I find that's interesting. But then this is where this is my like mental masturbation. Conclusion. Natural order versus man's intervention. Very. Power vacuums are natural processes. Throughout history, they've operated accordingly to natural principles. Collapse of authority, competition, emergence of dominance, stabilization under new order. Natural processes work themselves out in given time. Ecosystems recover after fire. Predator-prey populations rebalance after disruption. Civilizations reorganize after collapse. The natural cycle is painful but functional. Recovery happens because time allows adaptation. But man's intervention in the vacuum process has fundamentally broken the natural cycle. America didn't let regional vacuums fill naturally post-1945. America tried to control which ideologies won, which leaders emerged, which systems developed. By intervening to speed up or redirect the vacuum, America prevented natural resolution. Each intervention created new instability. Each attempt at control bred resistance. Each attempt at control bred resistance. The natural process of vacuum closure got interrupted repeatedly. So instead of resolving, the vacuum metastasized. Instead of stabilizing under new order, it stayed perpetually open. Man's hand, through CIA coups, military interventions, economic sanctions, proxy wars, accelerated the vacuum beyond its natural resolution capacity. We've sped up the process so dramatically that natural recovery mechanisms can't function anymore. That's the crisis. Not that the vacuum exists. The vacuums are natural. But the problem is that we've manipulated them so aggressively that speed has exceeded human and natural capacity to adapt. So it's paradoxical. To slow the vacuum, we need governance that works with natural processes instead of against them. Governance that recognize power vacuums as natural allow them to resolve through competition and emerge rather than external control. This creates conditions for stability to emerge naturally rather than posing it artificially. That means less intervention, not more. Less control, not more. Less manipulation, of which outcomes prevail, which allow for natural selection of governance systems. It means trusting natural processes to work themselves out given time and space. But we no longer have that luxury. Speed has compressed the timeline so dramatically that waiting for natural resolution isn't possible anymore. We've trapped ourselves. The natural process requires time we don't have because we've already accelerated it past the natural speed. So we're left with an impossible choice. Accept authoritarian consolidation to match speed we've created, or abandon speed and hope natural processes can still function at compromised timescales.
Got any other fucking questions? Good night, Podcast America.